Hi, this is Matt from Maddie's Music, and today we're going to show you some things to look at when you will be buying a brand new acoustic guitar. Before you go out and find the best deal that you think you get, and you're like, wow, this is a cheap guitar, this would be perfect for a beginner, that is not necessarily the best attitude to have when going to buy an acoustic guitar. This is the reasons why. When you buy a brand new acoustic guitar, if it's pretty cheap and you think it's affordable, it's probably missing a few crucial items. When you buy an acoustic guitar, you want to look very first or find out if it has what's called a truss rod. A truss rod is a little metal bar that's inside the neck of the guitar. This is your fretboard, and there's a metal rod that can adjust this. That determines on if you can make the fretboard flat. When you look down on the guitar, this should be as flat as possible. Some guitars can get really warped, so our goal is to just make sure that we can adjust the fretboard through that metal rod. So make sure that when you purchase a guitar that it has a truss rod and that the fretboard is fairly flat. Also, we want to double check the string height. We want to make sure the string height is not way high like this. We want it as flat as possible. All of that can be adjusted. What we also want you to look at is the bridge here and the saddle. We want to make sure that those are solid and in good shape. We don't want any space down here. If there is space, the odds are it's coming apart, and we want to make sure that stays fixed. One other thing to think about is that if you're buying a guitar with the truss rod, sometimes there's a cap here. It might not be on the inside, it'll be up here. So as long as there's a cap here, the odds are there is a metal bar that goes through here. And finally, there is a classical style guitar. The classical style guitar is okay for a beginner. It generally comes with nylon strings instead of metal, which are much softer for any child to play or anybody, an adult that has never played a guitar before. It feels very smooth. These guitars do not have a truss rod generally in them, or at least they're not adjustable, so you won't see it in there. However, the wood is a little bit thicker, and it generally will be straighter on a more expensive one. But just again, double check and make sure that when you look down, it's still pretty flat, and that also, again, the string height is not too high. So with that said, before you go and spend a cheap amount of money, remember that the feel of the guitar itself is going to be what makes a child or a beginner actually want to play the instrument. If it doesn't feel good, they're not going to want to play it. So right away, let's make sure that we get the right guitar with the right feel into a child or a beginning adult's hands.